Don't miss the self-interview at the end. It's so dry here. This is normally a reservoir full of water. Sau Reservoir mainly supplies Barcelona with water. So you can imagine the state of the drought here in the Catalonia region of Spain. Actually, what we're seeing is a 1,000-year-old town that technically doesn't exist anymore because it was flooded in the 1960s when the reservoir was created. The haunting Romanesque ruins of the abandoned village of Sant Roma de Sau emerge when the water levels in the area drop. I couldn't help but try a long exposure self-portrait to honor all the ghosts of the village, the spirits of the people who didn't want to leave but were forced to move to a new location. My husband and I scrambled into the woods on higher ground to see if we could see the ruins from above. It took us a bit of time to walk out of there. I shot this on the Insta360X3, a 360-degree camera. The footage can be reframed to be horizontal or vertical, which is perfect for preparing videos for social media. At this moment, I didn't know that I was going to try to make horizontal videos for YouTube. With my Fujifilm camera, I only shot vertically on this excursion. So I'm grateful to have this Insta360 footage. On our way out, we saw the view that we had been looking for. And of course, we got out of the car to take some photos. It had been too dark early in the morning to see this view when we drove in. I shot this with my X-T4 and my 55-200mm lens. The drive back to Barcelona took about an hour and a half. So, I'm back in Barcelona and 3 months have passed since I filmed that first portion at Sau Reservoir. Now I want to tell you a little bit about myself before I finish this first video. During those 3 months, I have decided to start trying to make some horizontal vlogs for the first time. And so if you're watching this, I am really grateful to have you here. And thank you for listening to my story. I'm Shuko. I've lived in Barcelona for 7 years now. I'm a photographer, video creator, and an artist. I'm just going to interview myself a little bit here. Why is English your main language? Just before I turned 4, my family moved from Tokyo to the US and specifically Princeton, New Jersey. So I started preschool there, I went through elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college, all in the US. My family did live in Frankfurt, Germany for 2 years when I was between the ages of 10 to 12, but I went to an international school, so my education was still in English at that time. Do you love Barcelona? It's a process moving to a foreign country. My Spanish is still coming along, and I have to be honest with you, Barcelona is a major hub for pickpockets. Actually, my camera bag, my whole camera backpack with my camera, 3 lenses, microphones, filters, my tripod, everything was stolen about 2 weeks ago when my husband and I were working with a client in the Maremagnum area. It's pretty quiet sometimes in that area. It's near the Barceloneta by the sea. And I didn't realize at the time that a lot of cruise ships come into that area, so I guess it's highly targeted. It's been devastating, and I am now filming this vlog on a borrowed camera. That is a whole nother video though. On the flip side, it's pretty beautiful here. The public transportation is really awesome. It's very functional. It's often not that crowded. The bus system is pretty good as well, and so I don't need a car at all to get around. How's the food in Barcelona? It's pretty good, but I don't eat out that much. There are a lot of restaurants that I would love to try, but every few months I crave Japanese food. So we sometimes go to an Asian buffet restaurant where you can order as many times as you want from a pretty comprehensive menu of a lot of Asian foods. I would say it's a mix of Chinese and Japanese food. If you go to a good one, it's pretty well done and it's very delicious. What are you wearing? So my Japanese friend in Barcelona used to make a lot of handmade kimono items. They were kind of her contemporary takes using old and vintage kimono material. She went back to Japan, but she gave me a bunch of really beautiful, highly wearable items. I will put her Instagram account in my description to give her credit. What projects are you working on at the moment? The traditional Japanese Matsuri festival is coming up on June 15th and 16th. Fujifilm Spain is sponsoring it this year, and my husband and I are going to be the official photographer and videographer. So I have already started working on that. Last year I did both the photos and the horizontal video. It was a lot of work, so this year I have asked my husband to do it with me, and we're very excited to be doing that in less than 2 weeks. I've already started filming the interviews, and it takes a long time to edit. So I'll be looking forward to gathering all the footage from the festival and then adding it into and during the interviews. I'm hoping to have the video sometime this summer. You can check it out hopefully later this summer on the Matsuri Barcelona YouTube account, which I will link below in the description as well. If you're in Barcelona, please come out to support the festival. It's a lot of fun. Thousands of people come out to the festival, and it's been growing, and this is the 10th edition. The food is delicious. There are many kids' activities. A bunch of Japanese artists are coming from Japan, so the performances are very authentic. You can't see them anywhere else in Barcelona. And there will be this beautiful community dancing called Bon Odori, where anyone can participate. People who come every year, some of them do wear traditional Japanese clothes called yukata. And yukata is different from kimonos in that they are made of cotton, kind of light fabrics for the summer. A lot of people, even a lot of local people, do get dressed up in the yukata, and there is a yukata rental service at the Matsuri. So anybody who wants to try wearing the traditional Japanese summer clothes is welcome to do that, and it makes the community dance very photogenic. I'm looking forward to seeing you there if you're here in town. Do you have any trips planned for the summer? Nicanor and I are going on what promises to be a wonderful trip in July. It's a job, and we'll be required to take photos and videos for our social media channels, which are here, and I will also put them down in the description. I can't tell you exactly what the trip is yet, but it involves multiple cities. I'm really excited about it and look forward to sharing it on my Instagram account and on this YouTube channel as well. So why did you start a YouTube channel? I think I'm not comfortable changing my Instagram account after 10 years of uploading photography and really loving photography. I'm not comfortable changing it into a video account. Seems like that's what's required, but really I can do what I want on my Instagram account, but I do think it's necessary to share more in videos. Rather than doing it directly on my Instagram account, I have decided to start a new YouTube channel. The account name is the same as my Instagram account. It's Studio Shuko. It's very easy to look up. I will be talking more in depth about what I do and more about the travels that Nicanor and I go on, mostly for work. I hope to do a lot more behind the scenes and just kind of be able to spend more time with you. I think you can't do it properly in photos, although I think having a photo account is a great idea. And it has been for 10 years. I have really enjoyed it, and I definitely consider myself a photographer. But it looks like in this current world, you can't escape the necessity of producing videos. So I agree with that. I think it's not just a trend, it's that, for example, the cameras that I use, they are completely capable of filming great video. I'm filming right now on the Fujifilm X-H2S, which is the currently recommended camera for videos and photos. It's definitely a hybrid camera. If the camera can do it, why wouldn't I share more video content? So I think that's what my YouTube channel will be about. Actually, for the longest time, I thought I wouldn't have anything to share in videos, but that can't be true after living on 3 continents, having majored in visual art in college, and then using that experience in my everyday work as a photographer. So there's no way that I have nothing to share. What is a bummer is that it's a bit difficult to film outside in Barcelona, especially after I've had all my photo gear stolen. It feels extremely dangerous and risky to film outside. So I don't know how I'm going to manage that. But for example, I could just do the filming outside and then without speaking a lot, like without stopping often to talk into the camera, unless it's extremely safe. And then I will do the talking portion here in our studio, something like that, probably. Finally, how are you? Well, I actually haven't been the best since the theft of all my camera gear. I was so shocked and stressed about a week and a half ago. It's been 2 weeks now, and so I'm functional enough to film this video and try to get some work done. But it's been a really terrible time. I really wasn't well. Just after everything was taken, I felt really insecure about being in Barcelona and very, very unsafe. And I also just like my digestion went. I couldn't digest food and I had loose stools for like a few days. And that was really difficult. It felt like, like I wasn't in control of anything. I remember the Saturday after it happened, I spent the whole day in bed. I didn't feel well. And then the next day on Sunday, I had a lot of grief because my husband Nicanor has been working so hard to help me to recover everything. He worked like round the clock, basically, and he was busy trying to get ready for his own business trip. But I lost my wallet as well, my new residence card, just like some debit cards. I lost a lot of stuff, and I actually have been so careful for 7 years here that I had never had anything taken before, which was not a mistake, but it meant that I had my guard down for a moment in a
seemingly enclosed space. It was an outdoor terrace, but it had walls, like up to here around it. And that was the mistake, to leave my bag on the chair beside me when I was talking to our client. It's a mistake to try to have a meeting outside with all my camera gear next to me. So I don't recommend that. Well, it's been a couple weeks now, so I hope to be more functional. And I lost footage the morning that the gear was stolen. We had been interviewing a couple people for the Matsuri Japanese festival video, and I lost all that footage too. So, well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so that's not fun to kind of backtrack on the work and have to ask the client to spend more time out of their busy schedule. So that really bothered me as well. What a lesson. My brother in the US has suggested that I run a GoFundMe campaign to recover some of the lost gear. I actually needed to think about it for a week and a half now. I've been asking some friends that I trust, what do they think about it? Is it a bad idea? Is it selfish? Is it arrogant to be asking for money to help recover the gear? And finally, I've had some very good advice, and I think I am going to do the campaign. So I need to prepare that. And I took some self-portraits. They might be a bit scary. Like a couple days after the gear was stolen, I took some long exposure shots at home, and I need to edit them a little bit to be able to post them, and then I will announce that GoFundMe campaign. I'm not expecting anything, but I think, that exists. That platform exists, and a lot of people are using it to request help. I think in this ultra-connected modern world, maybe it's all right, to use these tools to ask for help. I wouldn't normally do it, and I certainly didn't grow up during a time when people were, online. That didn't even exist really when I was growing up. I didn't have a computer until college. In my mind, it's not a very normal thing to do. It's not very common, but GoFundMe was started in 2010, so about 14 years ago. And I was thinking, it's really common mainly in the US and maybe Canada, like North America. But I checked online, and Ireland is actually the most generous country as far as helping each other when people have very difficult things happen to them. And that was really surprising. That's very amazing. In all these years that I've been on Instagram, I've never once personally seen anybody run a GoFundMe campaign. So that to me is kind of like, a bad direction to go in. If nobody's doing it, then nobody's doing it. But it's not a reason to not do it. And it's fine if people are, you can just ignore it in Instagram. It's totally possible to just ignore what I write. And so I've decided to put my concerns away and just try it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Maybe it's a bit short for how YouTube is running these days, but I hope to have longer videos. It might take me a little while to upload the next video because I'll be so busy with the Japanese festival video, but I'll be shooting another video definitely for myself in July during the trip that I mentioned. Hopefully I'll get that out this summer. I wish you all a great June and July, and see you next time.